guys well? Good? All right. All right, good evening. Welcome to Chicago Founder Stories here at 1871 Chicago's Digital Startup Hub. I'm Andrew Geant, the co-founder of WyzAnt, a great Chicago company that you've seen in the news lately after taking more than $20 million. Drew, great to have you.
Thanks for having me.
That was here. All right, so for the uninitiated, for people who don't know WyzAnt, what does WyzAnt do?
Yeah, so WyzAnt in its simplest form is a marketplace for private tutoring and lessons. We basically are operating in an industry that's been around forever, but it's been broken for a long time, and approaching it with a new model. And we kind of consider ourselves part of the sharing economy, if you will, although I literally just wrote an article about how that's a terrible name for it. But yeah, all those people who say they're the Airbnb for something, I would say we're the Airbnb for tutoring, although we were around before Airbnb, so I think Airbnb's a WyzAnt of hospitality.
I hear a lot of people refer to that.
Yeah, of course. You've never heard that before?
So why is it not, why the sharing economy? Why is it?
Well, so the article is actually on entrepreneur.com. This is like shameless self-promotion. But it's, in my opinion, what makes the sharing economy important or effective are concepts of participation and utilization. So if you think about Airbnb, let's use that as an example. That more people are able, actually let's use Uber as an example, more people are able to participate in this, in getting a private driver. So that's kind of the concept of participation, and more people are able to seek employment on the supply side as drivers. In our business, more people are able to find tutors and get tutoring. With the marketplace approach, we've drastically improved the economics, the traditional economics in the industry, so tutors are able to make more money, and the overall cost to students is much less. So more people are able to access tutoring, and on the supply side, more people are able to participate as tutoring, as tutors, because they don't have to market themselves, and we handle all the business side of being a private tutor.
Got it. Cool. Well, so it's an interesting idea. When did you guys start?
Started WyzAnt in 2005, which so we've been around for a while.
All right. So cool. So it's a really cool idea. It's obviously got great traction now. Where did the idea come from?
So it's one of those companies that was born out of a personal experience. So you want the long story or the short story?
Whatever's the most interesting.
I'll give you the medium story. So basically, I went to college at Princeton, and one of the observations I always had at Princeton was how it always struck me that they're very talented students, and they were working in the library or the cafeteria making $8, $10 an hour, and then they would graduate and go to consulting or banking and make $100,000 a year. And that didn't make any sense. So it felt underutilized, to use that word. And anyway, just kind of put that aside. So I graduated college, and I got swept up in the whole finance thing, which everyone was doing from Princeton. Everyone would go work on Wall Street, so I did that, and I hated it. Was definitely.
You did like summer internship, right?
I did the summer internship. Then they dangle a $10,000 signing bonus in front of you, and so you're going into your senior year. It's more money than you could ever imagine. So you sign up and take the $10,000 and you spend it naturally during your senior year of college. Actually, I did a semester in Ireland, and jet set is not the right word, but I traveled around Europe during that time.
So how many flights did you get us to $10,000?
A lot. So anyway, upon reflection during my senior year of college, I realized I really didn't enjoy my investment banking internship, and this is not really the right fit for me. It was not fulfilled. But I felt like I had to take the job. I spent this money. I had no way of repaying it. So I went and I showed up, and on the first day of work, I was like, I shouldn't be here, and I quit the second week of training. Figured, I'll figure out a way to pay this back.
So you just spent whatever $250,000 on going to prison. You have $10,000 in the hole, and you leave your job at the investment bank. But your plan was
nothing. I literally had never thought of what I actually wanted to do. Like, this is what you're supposed to do. This is what everybody else is doing.
That's a gutsy move. I love it.
Yeah, it sounds gutsy and sounds very glamorous, but honestly, it was not like I was not in a good place at the time. I felt like I had let my parents down, my friends. I had moved in with some friends in New York. I just abandoned them. And, obviously, Merrill Lynch, that was kind of the least of my concerns, letting Merrill Lynch down. Yeah, so I go back to Maine and move in with my parents, where I grew up. And again, not like a particularly good place, not where I pictured myself after graduating. trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Spent literally like 6 weeks just mentally grinding. What am I going to do with myself? And I said, you know what? In the meantime, I need to do something. Now, again, it was back to this fulfillment thing. I wanted to do something that I could feel good about. So I said, well, I'm good at math, and I would enjoy interacting with students. So I'll be a math tutor. At least to bridge the gap. Who knows what I'll ultimately do. So I set out to be a math tutor, and the very first observation was like, man, this is really hard to promote myself and get business as a math tutor. Finally got some clients, and literally like every single one of them said, oh, I wish I had found you 6 months ago or last year. It's so hard to find qualified tutors. So it was like, okay, right away, 2 very important observations there. And then I kind of I returned to the other observation from college where I said, man, like college students would actually be great tutors. They have a perfectly parallel skill set to what a high school student might be. And these kids are smart, motivated. So then I had these 3 things. I didn't really know what to make of them all. And at that point, I called up my now co-founder, Mike WyzAnt, who was a computer science guy at Princeton, and ran this by him.
It's hard to see what the name is.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so he immediately kind of latched onto this marketplace. He gets all the credit for the business model. And yeah, that's how it gets started.
So you see this opportunity. We talk about founder market, get a lot of founders for this. A lot of people want to say, I'm looking for a great idea. But I'm struck by, I think what the last Excel company we had here was Ryan Johnson, $1 billion great success story. But I have to say, the interesting thing about their success story was that Brian understood that space in a way, because Brian didn't work. And think about you, Mother Cow, too big to make money. What that the whole founder market piece. It sounds like you really had that really in, sort of saw it from the bottom up. So it seems like you should get great traction to start. But where's the story going from there? How do you end up? We'll come back. Were you likely to be an entrepreneur? I mean, you think about yourself as a kid, and you see things that your neighbors say, "Oh, I did this way."
Yeah, so people used to ask me, I used to make shit up. I used to literally be like, I must have had some tendencies as a child to be an entrepreneur. I honestly didn't. So for all of you who might be thinking like, I'm not some whiz kid coder, or I haven't had all these businesses since age 7. I was competitive, and I was lazy. Inefficiency always bothered me, and I think that.
Talk about that, because when we talked before, that was one of the interesting things. Talk about that as a tendency, because it seems like that's what ultimately motivated you to start.
Yeah, and I don't have any great examples off the top of my head. I used to skip a lot of college classes. I guess that would be one that felt like a waste of time. But yeah, that was what happened when I saw this tutoring thing that just felt totally broken. There has to be a better way. I think that's a sentiment that a lot of founders feel. It's like, it wasn't an epiphany necessarily, it's something's wrong.
Yeah, so it's interesting to kind of work through that. So you're in college, you think you're on Wall Street, and as you're around a lot of people, this was sort of back in Boston. So did you have a lot of classmates who lived in this, or was this
Is totally the latter. Like we, unlike a lot of people now who are studying entrepreneurship, there's all these great examples at companies. There were great examples in 2005 when we graduated, but we were not following it. So we basically had it was very homegrown. Like we had no idea what we were doing. We weren't following any sort of roadmap. People often ask us why we didn't raise capital, and I was like, we didn't know you could raise capital. We didn't know that was a thing when we started planning. So it's very much to learn on the fly.